KF7QGY here, doing the Salt Flats Endurance Run out here in Wendover, Utah for 2024. Out here set up at aid station 14, which is also having to double as net control. We'll have our tent and everything like that set up out here. I'll put up my tripods and all my main stuff. I end up getting a Kodiak canvas 10 by 14 tent. I'll show you the inside of it here in a little bit. One of the things though that we run out here for doing these events though, I have this down just for doing this video, but normally it's fully extended. But we'll do beacons up on top so that runners, especially at nighttime, can be able to see where the aid station is, so they have a point of reference to be able to help them find their way in. Is out here in the Salt Flats, there's no point of reference. Sometimes you'll have lights from mines and things like that. So this setup ends up being visible for quite a ways. My wife was able to see it from at least the rest area out there. If you were to do a comparison to where I'm at over here and where the rest area is, and even just getting on the freeway over by Wendover, you can see my beacons going. That's how bright they are. I'm just using some of the sound off signal 3-inch M-Power lights. And then to help out with things for being here at nighttime, just as kind of night lights, and they're brighter than I expected them to be. But I put up a couple of small floodlights. Those aren't even 2 inches across and about maybe an inch or so tall. They're not very big, but they are very bright and do an exceptional job. I'm doing some more video here, trying to finish off the rest of this. I know that I got earlier parts of about my beacon and stuff like that. Made some changes, gonna go over some of those to finish off the rest of this video. This has been spread out for sadly, most of the year. I'm horrible at this. So don't have too much going on right now. Don't even have my ICS form and log and things like that set up just yet, or fully done. And as you can see down there on the left on my laptop, we're going to be running the Runner Tracker, or T-Racer, I think is what it's being rebranded over to, that we're going to use to keep a track of our runners for this 50, 50K, and 25K run. So outside the tent now, obviously. We're not running too much for radio frequencies today, so I've just got a couple antennas set up just so we can run 3 frequencies. One of them's being crossed. Got my weather station, everything like that, back up there on top of my truck as usual, my cell phone booster, because we do need internet to upload stuff so that people can track their racers. And you got to have internet to do that. But I changed it up. Sitting up on top of the beacon, or on top of the flagpole now, is an En-ROADS low dome beacon. It is set for amber and green, and right now I just have the amber on just because the station's up on the air, and we got it switched over to green. So one of the things that Utah Threat uses, because of the nature of where the events are that they primarily support, they end up doing events that end up being in the backcountry, remote areas, and things like that. And with some of those areas, you're liable to end up having to call out search and rescue and other different resources, life flight, and other first responders that would end up having to go off into the backcountry. And one of the things that they end up looking for locally, at least, but get it kicked back over to having the amber on there. It's pretty bright. I imagine that you can see it pretty well down into Salt Lake County. So we're just up here in North Salt Lake, but I digress. One of the things with the green that we end up looking for is that is a signal for a lot of the agencies here that is command. And so when things end up going bad and we have to call out the resources, and they end up needing either a meeting point or have their command people end up coming out, what they'll end up doing is they'll look for that green. And so I'll end up changing my beacon over to that. That way I can run and be the command center if need be, while those resources are coming out to try and resolve whatever issue may have actually developed. Not a very good shot. It's really hazy out there today, but that is Salt Lake County to the south. So here we are, what we got set up, quite a bit different than 3 o'clock in the morning. They got the finish line where the runners come running down off in. Nothing too big. Can't quite see Salt Lake County. We got too much smoke in the air. We got quite a few wildfires and stuff going on in the area. A couple of them are pretty bad. So that's down, heading south down towards Salt Lake County. Just heading all the way back down and across. So pretty nice and easy. Nice little day to get out. Get back up over here to the north. Back up over that way is the Great Salt Lake. That over there in the background is Antelope Island. So we got a great little view of it. Back up almost straight ahead from where I'm at. You probably can't see it in the video very well, but just between the two flags in the center of the screen and the two trees over there is up where one of the aid stations is. There's a couple radar domes up there. People actually run all the way up the side of that mountain, just north of it, and they come doubling back down, and they're running just across the top of all these mountains back over here. They end up coming down into the neighborhoods and down into the cities a couple of times and then heading back up. So not too bad of a setup. Here's the tent and all the stuff. We've got kids playing around for all the family members and everything. So we've had to move our cables and everything, but better view of the beacon sitting up there on top of the pole. Already found some problems with it just since the earlier portion of this video. We've been going for a few hours now. It's actually close to about, what, 2 o'clock, almost 3 right now. I'm not sure exactly which time, but today has been a fun day. Got everything all set up. We've got our runner tracker still up and going. We're having to use it over here on the laptop. The mic that we're using is just a webcam. Just sits right there on top, and then the stuff ends up coming through from just a regular speaker on the radio, and from the radio speaker it gets decoded and done inside the runner tracker program, and then we're actually able to upload it to the internet. So once it gets uploaded to the internet, people can end up seeing how their runners are doing and all that good stuff. So here we got a station that's calling in that most likely has some data to transmit.
Have a DNF and some data.
So one of the things that we can track is DNFs and everything like that as well. And just even with all that, even with all that noise and interference, we were actually able to get a good copy on all the data for all the runner information that he sent us.
And the DNF was 169er.
And we're able to actually take that, import it, put it all onto the web. And then once we end up getting it on there, so in just that short time, he ended up sending us all these different runner datas for all these different bibs. So the first 3 digits are all the bib numbers, including our DNF in there that just wasn't feeling it apparently. So we can even see our notes and everything like that, and that ends up being reflected in the runner tracker software and everything else. So we have all the records. It can be uploaded so that their friends and family can see it and know that they need to be picked up, and so that we can use it for our logging purposes and everything like that as well. To transmit it, I'll show later on how we actually end up transmitting it. There's no cables or anything like that even required to do it. So really simple, really easy, all developed down here in Utah County by a couple of the guys.